You don't belong here. Get her out before she causes trouble. People like that don't cash checks like this. Security. Remove her now. Get her out of here. This isn't the place for someone like her. The words cut through the marble lobby like a blade. Sharp. Loud. Meant to humiliate. Every head in the bank turned. Whispers rose like a tide. Some snickered. Others just stared. Naomi stood at the counter. Late 20s. Composed. In her hand, a check so large the numbers almost glared under the bright lights. Across from her, the teller's polite smile was gone. Her lips curled, her voice dripping with disdain. People like you don't walk in here with checks like this. So, either you leave, or I'll call security to drag you out. The customers behind Naomi whispered louder. Must be fake, no way it's hers. She probably stole it. Naomi didn't move. Didn't blink. Her voice came soft, steady enough to silence the room. You're making a mistake. A very big one. And just like that, the entire bank froze. No one moved. Every eye fixed on Naomi, waiting to see what would happen next. She's lying, no way that money's hers. Get security before this gets out of hand. People like that don't walk out of here with cash. She's wasting everyone's time, kick her out. The teller didn't lower her voice. If anything, she spoke louder now, loud enough for the line of customers to hear every word. This is a professional bank. We don't just hand out cash to anyone who walks in. She shoved the check back across the counter. Especially not amounts like this. A ripple went through the lobby. One woman leaned toward her friend, whispering just loud enough to carry. Yeah, right, she doesn't even look like she has that kind of money. Someone chuckled. Another shook their head, muttering. Probably a scam. Can't believe she even tried. Naomi didn't flinch. She slid the check back across the counter, her calm eyes never leaving the teller's face. Her voice, low and even. It's not a request. It's my money. Process it. The teller smirked. Or what? You'll complain? We know how to handle complaints. Her hand hovered near the phone on the counter. Security's going to love this. The whispers grew louder. Customers were watching now, phones in hand, waiting for a scene. The tension was just getting started. She's still standing there? Why hasn't security dragged her out yet? This is embarrassing, just throw her out already. She probably forged that check, no way it's real. The marble floor echoed with heavy footsteps. From the side office, the branch manager emerged, tall, smug, his tailored suit cutting through the lobby like he owned the place. He didn't even look at Naomi at first. He glanced at the teller, eyebrows raised. What's this about? The teller smirked. Big check. Wrong kind of customer. The manager's eyes finally landed on Naomi. No greeting. No professionalism. Just a cold once-over. We'll need to hold those funds for verification, he said loudly, making sure everyone could hear. At least 2 weeks. Maybe longer. That's policy for cases like this. The whispers started again. Cases like this, someone repeated under their breath, laughing softly. Another voice murmured. Bet she can't even prove it's hers. Naomi didn't blink. She calmly reached into her bag and placed her ID and bank card on the counter. Everything you need is right here, she said. Now, finish the transaction. The manager leaned closer, his tone dripping with false authority. Or what? You'll call corporate? Trust me, they don't care about customers like you. The air grew heavier. The tension, thicker. And the whole lobby kept watching. Security's coming, she's done. She thinks standing there will change anything? This is a bank, not a charity. She should leave before she gets embarrassed even more. The teller's hand hovered near the phone. The manager crossed his arms, smirking like the outcome was already written. Call security, he said to the teller, his voice loud, deliberate. Let's clear this up the easy way. The guard, a tall young man in a navy uniform, walked in from the side hall, his boots echoing on the tile. The room quieted. Everyone watched. Naomi turned her head slightly, meeting the guard's eyes. Her voice stayed low, calm, almost gentle. Think carefully before you touch me. This isn't what it looks like. The guard hesitated. His eyes shifted between Naomi's steady gaze and the manager's impatient glare. The tension was thick enough to choke on. The teller scoffed. She's wasting everyone's time. Get her out so real customers can be served. The whispers grew sharper now. Yeah, get her out already. She's just holding up the line for no reason. Naomi didn't move. Didn't raise her voice. She simply folded her hands over the check and said, "Do your job. Or call someone above you who can." The manager's jaw tightened. He didn't like that. And the lobby felt one breath away from boiling over. She's still refusing to leave? Why isn't security forcing her out yet? Who does she think she is, standing up to the manager? If she doesn't leave, this is going to get ugly. The bank felt frozen. Every customer, every employee, waiting. The security guard's hand hovered near his radio, unsure of his next move. The manager leaned in, his voice dripping with smug confidence. This branch doesn't have time for games. Take your check somewhere else. You're not walking out of here with that money today. Naomi didn't look away. Her tone stayed even, her words cutting without a shout. You don't decide that. And you're about to find out why. The guard frowned, shifting his stance. Something in Naomi's voice made him pause, even as the teller muttered. She's bluffing. They always bluff. Then, Naomi reached for her phone. Not frantic. Not desperate. Slow. Deliberate. She typed a message. One line. Hit send. Set the phone down on the counter beside the check. The manager snorted. Who'd you text? Your lawyer? Go ahead, it won't change anything. Naomi's gaze never wavered. You'll see soon enough. The lobby went silent. Every eye on her. Every breath held, waiting for what came next. Who did she just text? Why is she so calm, like she knows something? Did you see her phone? She's not bluffing. What if she's someone important? The automatic doors at the bank's entrance slid open. A man in a dark suit stepped inside, calm, precise, his eyes scanning the lobby. He wasn't a customer. Not the way he moved. Not the way he looked straight at Naomi and gave the smallest nod before stepping aside, phone to his ear. The teller froze for just a second. The manager's smirk faltered. Whispers spread like wildfire. Who is that? Is he with her? Naomi didn't move. Didn't even acknowledge him. She kept her eyes on the manager, her tone still quiet. Last chance. Process the check, or this gets bigger than you can handle. The manager scoffed, forcing a laugh he didn't feel. Oh, please. Some guy in a suit? I don't care who you called. You're still not getting this money. But the guard shifted his stance. He could feel it, something was off. Something was coming. And Naomi just waited. There's another one coming in. She's not alone. Who are these people? Why does it feel like the manager's not in control anymore? Something big is about to happen. The doors slid open again. A second figure entered, this one a woman in a charcoal gray suit, holding a sleek tablet, earpiece in her ear. Her stride was confident, purposeful. She didn't stop to look around. She went straight to the man already by the wall, murmuring something as she scrolled through data on her screen. Then, together, they turned their eyes toward Naomi. The teller's smirk was gone now. The manager's face twitched, but he forced his voice to stay steady. What, you think bringing a couple of friends will scare us? This is my branch. You're not getting a cent until we verify that check, maybe not even then. Naomi finally glanced at the two suited figures. A small nod. Then she turned back to the manager. You still don't get it, do you? Her voice was calm, but it carried, filling the lobby. You're out of time. The customers whispered, phones up, recording now. Even the security guard looked uneasy, glancing between the manager and Naomi. Something was shifting. And everyone could feel it. They're making calls. Who are these people? Why is she so calm while the manager's sweating? This isn't normal. Something's about to go down. What if she actually owns this place? The woman with the tablet stepped toward the side office without a word. She gestured subtly to the suited man, who nodded and disappeared toward the rear hallway, phone pressed to his ear. The lobby buzzed with low whispers. Customers leaned to one another. Are those lawyers? Investigators? Who is she? The manager tried to keep his voice loud, confident, but it cracked just slightly. I don't care who she called. This is still my branch, and my rules. Security, get her out of here, now. The guard didn't move. Not a step. His eyes flicked toward Naomi, and then toward the suited pair quietly working behind the scenes. Naomi stayed still. She didn't raise her voice. Didn't even turn her head as she spoke. If you put your hands on me, you'll regret it. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. The words hung in the air like static. For the first time, the manager hesitated. And the entire bank felt the shift. Why isn't the guard moving? She's not even raising her voice, and he's hesitating. Did you see the manager's face? He's actually nervous now. Something's about to snap. This isn't just a customer anymore. The guard's hand hovered over his radio, his knuckles tense, but he didn't step forward. Not yet. Naomi finally looked at him directly, her gaze calm but commanding. Do you really want to be part of this mistake? Because it's not going to end the way your boss thinks it will. The guard swallowed hard. His eyes flicked to the manager, who was now visibly sweating. Do your job, the manager barked, his voice sharper, almost desperate. Escort her out, now. But the guard didn't move. Not until a sound cut through the tension. The bank's glass doors opened. Two more suited figures walked in, one with a briefcase, the other holding a folder marked with the bank's logo. They moved with purpose, not even glancing at the customers who had now started filming openly. The teller muttered under her breath. Who is she? Naomi didn't answer. She just leaned slightly on the counter and said softly, Now, watch what happens. And for the first time, the manager stepped back. More people? This is getting serious. She called them? They're not regular staff. The manager's losing it. He's not in control anymore. What if she really runs this place? The two new arrivals didn't waste time. The man with the briefcase walked straight to Naomi, placing it on the counter without a word. The other opened the folder, flipping through documents as his eyes locked on the branch manager. Mr. Lane, the suited man said evenly, voice low but commanding. We need to speak. Now. The manager's jaw tightened. He glanced around, customers recording, staff frozen. Who are you people? This is my branch, and I'll decide who gets served here. The woman with the tablet returned, tapping her screen. No, Mr. Lane, she said calmly. It's not your branch. Not anymore. Whispers erupted in the lobby. Not his branch? What does that mean? Is she the owner? Naomi remained silent, hands resting lightly on the counter. Her calm presence made the tension feel even heavier. The suited man closed the folder deliberately. You're done here. Sit down and wait. For the first time, the manager actually obeyed. And the lobby went dead silent. Why did the manager just back down? Those people, they outrank him, don't they? She hasn't said a word, but she's running the room. What is really going on here? The manager sank into the nearest chair, his face pale, his fake confidence stripped away. The teller shuffled nervously behind the counter, her earlier smirk now gone. The suited woman with the tablet glanced at Naomi, then addressed the room. "Everyone, stay where you are. Transactions are paused until this is resolved." Murmurs swept through the crowd. Resolved? By who? Who are they? Phones kept recording, the sound of cameras clicking filling the still air. Naomi finally moved. She straightened, her calm eyes sweeping the lobby, landing briefly on each face, the manager, the teller, the security guard, the gawking customers. Her voice, low but carrying. "I warned you. I told you this would be a mistake. Now, you're going to see just how big of one it is." The room froze. No one dared to speak. Even the guard stepped back a little, sensing the shift. And as the tension thickened, the doors at the entrance slid open again. Another figure was about to arrive. Another one? Who else is coming? She's not just a customer, this is bigger. Even the staff look scared now. Is she their boss? The lobby door slid open once more. This time, it wasn't another assistant. It was someone everyone recognized, the regional director, a woman in her 50s with a commanding presence, flanked by 2 security staff in dark suits. The moment she stepped inside, the entire branch went silent. The teller's jaw went slack. The manager's eyes widened, panic flickering behind his forced composure. The director didn't look at anyone else. She walked straight to Naomi, her tone calm but respectful. "Ma'am, everything's been reviewed. We're here to finalize this personally." Whispers rippled through the customers. "Finalize what? What's happening? Why is the regional director talking to her like that?" Naomi finally turned her head, meeting the director's eyes. A single nod. Then she spoke, her voice level, each word deliberate. "Good. Let's make sure everyone here understands who they've been talking to." The tension in the lobby didn't just rise, it snapped. Everyone knew now, something massive was about to drop. The regional director's here, and she's with her. Wait, are we about to see the truth? The manager looks like he's about to faint. This isn't a normal customer, this is about to blow up. The regional director turned toward the frozen manager. Her voice was cold, controlled, the kind of tone that meant trouble. "Mr. Lane, step away from the counter." Her hand gestured to the 2 security staff behind her. "Now." The manager stood rigid, his jaw twitching. "With respect, Director, this is my branch, and this woman." "Enough." The director's single word cut through the air like a whip. "Do you even know who you've been humiliating for the last 20 minutes? The teller's eyes darted between Naomi and the director, her hands shaking slightly as she gripped the edge of the counter. Even the customers leaned closer, phones raised higher, eager not to miss a single second. Naomi remained perfectly still. Not gloating. Not smiling. Just waiting, her gaze steady. The director's voice carried across the silent lobby. "Everyone, listen carefully. Because this is about to change everything." The room froze, breaths held, every ear straining for what was next. "She's about to say it. Who is this woman?" The director's tone, "She's not here for the manager. Everyone's recording now, this is going viral. Whatever's coming, it's going to flip this place upside down." The regional director stepped closer to the counter. Her gaze swept the staff, the customers, then landed on Naomi. "Ma'am," she said, her voice measured but respectful. "Would you like me to handle this, or would you like to do it yourself?" Naomi's calm eyes lifted to meet hers. "I'll do it myself." The murmurs swelled. "Do what? What's happening? Who is she?" The director turned to face the lobby, her posture sharp, commanding silence with just her stance. Even the 2 suited assistants who had been working quietly by the wall stopped moving, waiting for Naomi's cue. Naomi slowly rose to her full height. Not rushed. Not theatrical. Just deliberate. She picked up the check from the counter, held it lightly in her fingers, and looked around the lobby. Her voice, calm but carrying. Everyone's about to find out exactly why no one here should have spoken to me this way. The room went dead still. Every eye locked on her. Even the manager, pale and sweating, stopped breathing for a moment. Something seismic was about to hit. She's about to reveal it. What's she going to say? The manager's shaking. He knows it's bad. Everyone's filming. This is going everywhere. She's not just cashing a check. She owns something here, doesn't she? Naomi placed the check flat on the counter. Her hand hovered over it for a moment, calm and steady. Then, she turned her gaze to the teller, her voice low but every syllable sharp. Do you remember what you said to me? That I don't belong here. That people like me can't cash checks like this. The teller swallowed hard, her lips parting as if to respond, but no words came out. Naomi's eyes shifted to the manager, her tone unwavering. And you. Holding my funds. Threatening to remove me. Humiliating me in front of all these people. The manager's face drained of color. He tried to stammer something, but Naomi lifted her hand slightly, silencing him without raising her voice. She glanced toward the suited assistants by the wall. One of them nodded and opened the briefcase. Inside, official documents, embossed with the bank's seal. Naomi's voice carried across the silent lobby. Let me make this crystal clear for everyone. I'm not just here to cash this check. I own this bank. Gasps erupted through the lobby. Phones lifted higher. The whispers turned to stunned silence. And the entire branch went still. She owed WNS the bank? The manager's career is over, he knows it. Everyone's phones are up, this is going viral in minutes. She warned them, and now it's happening. The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. I own this bank. The lobby erupted. Gasps, murmurs, frantic whispers. Customers turned to each other, some grinning, some wide-eyed in shock. The teller stepped back, her hand trembling as it hovered near the counter. The manager staggered a step, his mouth opening, but nothing came out. The regional director folded her arms, her expression icy as she faced the stunned staff. You all heard her, she said firmly. This isn't just a customer. This is your employer. The person signing your paychecks. The security guard, who had been frozen, finally lowered his hand from his radio and stepped back toward Naomi, his voice respectful. Ma'am, what would you like us to do? Naomi didn't look at him. She kept her eyes locked on the trembling manager and teller. Her voice, calm as ever. We start with accountability. Right now. The room went silent again. Every phone, every pair of eyes, waited to see who would fall first. She's about to take them down. The manager's sweating, he knows he's first. The teller looks like she's about to cry. Everyone's waiting, who's getting fired first? Naomi finally moved from the counter. Her heels clicked softly against the marble floor as she stepped forward, stopping directly in front of the branch manager. She didn't shout. She didn't raise her voice. Her words cut sharper because they were calm. For the last 20 minutes, you humiliated a customer. You denied service without cause. And you turned this entire lobby into a spectacle of prejudice. The manager's lips parted, scrambling for words. I didn't know. Naomi lifted a single hand, silencing him. You didn't care to know. And that is why, effective immediately, you're done here. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones captured every second as the two suited security staff stepped forward. Escort him out, Naomi said simply. He can collect his things later. The manager's shoulders slumped. His defiance vanished as the guards took him by the arms, guiding him toward the side hallway. The customers whispered. He's finished. She's not even angry, she's just ending careers. Naomi turned back toward the teller, her gaze steady. And now, you. The teller froze. Her hands gripped the edge of the counter until her knuckles turned white. She's not stopping with the manager. The teller's face says it all. She knows what's coming. This is more than a firing, it's a reckoning. Every employee's future just changed. Naomi stepped closer to the teller. Her voice remained calm, but each word carried weight. You stood by and watched as a customer was humiliated. You did nothing. You let prejudice take over your professionalism. The teller's eyes welled up. She bit her lip, struggling to hold back tears. I didn't want to cause trouble. Naomi shook her head slightly. Silence is complicity. That's why you're on probation, and we will be watching. The teller nodded, voice barely a whisper. I understand. Naomi turned back to the room, addressing everyone watching. This isn't about punishment, it's about change. And if anyone else here doubts that, I suggest you think carefully about your place here. Whispers spread through the crowd. Phones kept recording. The message was clear. This bank was no longer the same. Everyone's watching now, the entire staff feels the pressure. No one wants to be next. Customers are whispering, this is historic. The bank just became a courtroom. Staff members exchanged nervous glances. Some avoided Naomi's eyes. Others whispered apologies to each other. A middle-aged customer whispered to his companion. This is what happens when people in power finally decide to act. Another customer nodded, phone in hand. I'm sharing this live, everyone needs to see this. Naomi paced slowly through the lobby, her calm but firm gaze settling on each staff member. This is your chance to do better. To serve with respect. To honor the trust placed in you. The atmosphere was heavy, a mix of fear and hope. The bank was transforming before everyone's eyes. The message is clear, no more tolerance for prejudice. This isn't just a firing, it's a movement. Customers are starting to believe in change. The bank's future just shifted. Naomi stopped near the waiting area, her eyes softening as she addressed the gathered customers. I know many of you have faced discrimination here. Today is the start of a new chapter. One where everyone is treated with dignity. The crowd murmured in agreement, some nodding, others wiping away tears. A woman near the back whispered, I've never felt welcome here before, this feels different. Behind Naomi, the staff watched in silence, the weight of accountability sinking in. This was more than a reprimand, it was a reckoning, and everyone felt it. The community is watching now. This isn't just about one bank, it's about every customer. Naomi's vision is becoming real. Can the system really change? News of the confrontation spread quickly. Local media arrived, cameras flashing, microphones ready. Neighbors, clients, and activists gathered outside the branch, eager to hear Naomi speak. Inside, Naomi addressed a small crowd with steady conviction. We are committed to fairness and respect for all. This bank will no longer tolerate discrimination, not today, not ever. Her words resonated deeply, sparking hope in many hearts. But Naomi knew the work was just beginning. Transforming culture takes time, courage, and relentless leadership. She's not just making promises, she's taking action. Policy changes, training programs, accountability, it's all happening. This bank will never be the same. Will the staff rise to the challenge? Back inside the branch, Naomi convened a meeting with senior staff and managers. Her tone was firm, yet hopeful. We will implement comprehensive anti-discrimination training. Our hiring practices will reflect our commitment to diversity. Performance evaluations will include equity measures. Some staff nodded, others shifted uncomfortably. Change was coming, whether they were ready or not. Outside, the community watched closely, waiting to see if Naomi's vision would become reality. Change doesn't come easy. Not everyone wants to be held accountable. Resistance is brewing inside the bank. Naomi's leadership will be tested. As Naomi pushed forward, not everyone was on board. Some staff whispered complaints behind closed doors. The manager's loyalists plotted quietly, uneasy about the new direction. Naomi sensed the tension but stayed resolute. Change is hard, but necessary, she told her leadership team. We must stand firm for what is right. The bank was at a crossroads, the outcome uncertain, but the stakes higher than ever. The pressure is mounting. Naomi's resolve is unshakable. Can she unite the staff and change the culture? The future of the bank hangs in the balance. Naomi gathered her entire team for a heartfelt meeting. Her voice steady, filled with conviction. We all make mistakes. But what matters is how we grow from them. Together, we can build a bank that serves everyone fairly and with respect. Some faces softened. Others remained skeptical. But Naomi's leadership began to inspire a new sense of purpose. Outside, customers and community members watched closely, hoping for lasting change. The atmosphere in the bank's grand conference room was electric. Cameras from local news stations filled the room, their red recording lights glowing steadily. Reporters jostled for position as Naomi Freeman, the newly appointed CEO and bank owner, stood behind the podium emblazoned with Meridian Financial's logo. Her posture was impeccable, a blend of regal calm and determined authority. The same quiet confidence that had disarmed the teller and shaken the manager now radiated to this room full of observers. The room fell silent as Naomi began to speak, her voice steady and deliberate, each word measured to resonate far beyond the walls. Today marks a new chapter for Meridian Financial, a chapter where every customer, regardless of their background, race, or appearance, is treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. No longer will silence or prejudice dictate the service we provide. Behind her, a giant screen displayed key statistics, data about customer satisfaction, disparities in service, and the bank's commitment to measurable change. We are pledging $50 million to anti-discrimination training, comprehensive community outreach, and internal accountability mechanisms. We will implement transparent reporting systems so that every customer's experience is heard and valued. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. This isn't just a promise. It's a transformation. It will be reflected in every branch, every teller window, every interaction. And it will be enforced by leadership accountable to you, our customers, our communities, and our employees. The reporters scribbled notes feverishly. A few whispered excitedly, sensing a historic moment unfolding. Naomi scanned the crowd, meeting eyes, her gaze unwavering. We will no longer tolerate behavior that undermines our values. Employees who discriminate or fail to uphold our standards will face consequences swiftly and transparently. This bank will become a beacon of fairness and inclusion in our industry. The room burst into applause, some standing, others cheering quietly, many nodding with relief and hope. Outside, the news spread like wildfire. Social media exploded with clips and quotes from Naomi's speech. Hashtags like #RespectForAll and #MeridianReform trended within hours. Back inside the bank, Naomi knew this was only the beginning. The real work, changing hearts and minds, policies and practices, was still ahead. But for the first time, the path forward was clear, and the promise of change felt real. The news of Naomi's announcement swept through Meridian Financial like wildfire, but inside the walls of the bank, the reality was far more complex. The conference room's applause had barely faded when whispers of dissent began to simmer amongst some senior staff and longtime employees. Behind closed doors, concerns were voiced, discomfort with the new policies, fear of change, and resentment toward what some called unfair targeting. Naomi felt the weight of those murmurs as soon as she returned to her office. Her calm exterior never faltered, but inside, she steeled herself for the uphill battle ahead. She called an urgent meeting with her executive team. Her voice was firm, resolute. Change challenges the comfortable. But this isn't about comfort, it's about justice. We will face resistance, but we will not back down. Our commitment is to the customers and to doing what's right. The room was tense. Some executives nodded in agreement, while others exchanged wary glances. Naomi outlined a comprehensive plan to implement new training programs, revise hiring practices, and establish a transparent accountability system, one that tracked equity metrics alongside traditional performance indicators. We must ensure everyone understands why this is non-negotiable. Not just because it's lawful, but because it's essential to who we are. She finished with a challenge. If anyone isn't willing to rise to this standard, they don't have a place here. And we will find that out quickly. Outside her office, employees watched the unfolding transformation with a mix of hope, fear, and uncertainty. But Naomi's steady leadership was a beacon and a warning that the era of complacency was over. The real work begins now. This isn't just policy, this is transformation. The community watches every move. Can a culture truly change? Meridian Financial's headquarters buzzed with activity as Naomi's leadership ignited change across every department. Training sessions filled conference rooms, where employees listened, sometimes skeptically, to stories about unconscious bias and equitable service. Community forums were organized, inviting customers to share experiences and suggestions. Naomi personally attended several, reinforcing her commitment to transparency and accountability. Employees like Beth, once uncertain, began embracing the new culture, becoming vocal advocates for change. Others resisted quietly, but Naomi's team monitored progress closely, using new performance metrics tied directly to equity. Outside, the community responded with cautious optimism. Local leaders praised Meridian's initiative, while customers expressed hope that their voices were finally being heard. Naomi knew challenges remained, but each small victory was a step toward a future where respect wasn't optional, it was standard. Change isn't easy. Resistance grows beneath the surface. Naomi's resolve will be tested. Will she hold firm? Despite early successes, Naomi faced growing resistance. Some staff clung to old habits, covertly undermining new policies. Complaints surfaced, and rumors of unrest spread among employees. Naomi confronted these challenges head-on. She held frank discussions, reaffirmed expectations, and doubled down on accountability measures. This isn't about comfort zones, she reminded her team. It's about fairness, dignity, and the future of this bank. Her unwavering dedication inspired many but also intensified opposition from others unwilling to change. Outside the bank, community supporters rallied, reminding Naomi why the fight mattered. Each setback fueled her determination. Change is becoming real. Some embrace it, others struggle. Personal stories emerge. The bank's heart begins to transform. Inside Meridian Financial, the atmosphere started to shift palpably. Stories emerged from employees who once hesitated, tales of learning, growth, and newfound respect. Beth, once trembling with fear, now led a workshop on cultural sensitivity, sharing her journey of awakening. A formerly resistant teller spoke publicly about the impact of Naomi's leadership on her personal and professional life. Naomi made a point to recognize these stories, amplifying voices that had been silenced for too long. Customers noticed the change, with many reporting warmer service and more inclusive policies. The bank's culture, once rigid and exclusionary, was bending toward equity and respect, but the journey was ongoing. The community embraces the change. Naomi's vision expands beyond the bank. Partnerships form, hope grows. A new chapter begins. Naomi knew the bank's transformation could not happen in isolation. She launched outreach programs partnering with local organizations to educate and empower underserved communities about financial literacy and access. Town halls, workshops, and open forums became regular fixtures, creating spaces where voices once ignored could speak freely. Naomi personally attended many events, listening and learning. The bank's reputation began to shift, from a place of suspicion and exclusion to one of opportunity and inclusion. Naomi's vision was clear, to build not just a bank, but a community institution that reflected the values of equity, respect, and shared prosperity. Real lives changed. Faces behind the numbers. Hope and opportunity take root. The power of leadership made personal. Local residents began sharing their stories, tales of barriers broken and trust rebuilt. Maria, a single mother, spoke about how Meridian helped her start a small business after years of rejection elsewhere. James, a young entrepreneur, described finally receiving a fair loan to expand his tech startup, thanks to the bank's new policies. These stories became a testament to Naomi's leadership, proof that change wasn't just policy, but real impact. Community newsletters, social media, and local news highlighted these successes, further strengthening Meridian's renewed connection with its customers. Leading change is a tightrope walk. Growth goals versus equity commitments. Pressure mounts from all sides. Naomi's leadership put to the ultimate test. As Meridian Financial's new culture began to take hold, Naomi faced the immense challenge of balancing the bank's financial growth with her unwavering commitment to equity. Shareholders demanded profits, some executives pushed back against costly new programs, and external market pressures loomed large. Naomi navigated boardroom battles with calm determination, advocating fiercely for the long-term vision. "We cannot sacrifice our values for short-term gains," she reminded skeptics. "True growth comes from inclusion, trust, and sustainable relationships." Her resilience inspired loyal allies and shifted many doubters toward her side, but the road remained arduous and full of difficult decisions. Just when it seemed stable, a crisis shakes the bank to its core. Naomi's leadership is pushed to the limit. Will the new culture hold strong? Meridian Financial faced an unexpected crisis, a cyber attack threatening customer data and shaking public trust. While the IT team scrambled to contain the breach, rumors spread fast, stirring fear and suspicion among customers and staff alike. Naomi stepped up immediately, addressing the public with transparency and resolve. "Our priority is protecting you, our customers, and our community. We are taking every measure to secure our systems and support those affected." Internally, Naomi rallied her team, emphasizing unity and the values that had reshaped the bank. The crisis became a defining moment, a chance to prove that Meridian's new culture was not just words, but action under pressure. The storm begins to clear. Trust rebuilds slowly but surely. Meridian's culture proves resilient. A fresh start for the bank and community. The cyber attack was contained, thanks to swift action by Meridian's security teams and transparent communication led by Naomi. Customers received personal outreach, assurances, and support services. Internally, staff morale slowly rebounded as the crisis reinforced the importance of teamwork and trust. Naomi's steady leadership was credited widely for navigating the bank through its toughest hour. The community's faith, once shaken, began to heal, a testament to the strength of a culture built on accountability and respect. A story of courage and change. Leadership that transformed a bank and a community. The impact will be felt for generations. Naomi Freeman's legacy is just beginning. Months after the crisis, Naomi stood once more in the lobby of Meridian Financial's flagship branch. The atmosphere had changed completely. Warm smiles replaced wary glances. Respect was the norm, not the exception. Community members greeted staff by name. Naomi's eyes scanned the bustling lobby with quiet pride. She addressed a group of employees during a training session. "Remember, leadership isn't about titles or power. It's about responsibility to your colleagues, your customers, and your community. We've come far, but the journey never ends." Outside, stories of Meridian's transformation continue to inspire. Naomi Freeman's vision had created a blueprint for inclusive leadership, a reminder that true success is measured not just in profits, but in the dignity and respect we afford each other. As the sun set over the city skyline, Naomi smiled softly, knowing this was only the beginning of a brighter future.